This is Gemara and Yoma Daf Nun Beis. All the learning for this month of Sivan has been sponsored as Chos Shidduch for Yisrael Chaim and Devayra. Mir Tashem, the learning of the entire Chabura should be a tremendous Chos that you should find the Shidduch Hagin Bekarov. Of course, our Cholim Man V'Megel Chaim and Sar Shalom Sivan Reizei L'Sar Bas Kanan D'Li Basim Chaysi Yisrael V'Mendel Eliezer Perez Ben Shavalei Shalom Bas Noami B'Shav Vego B'Bas Shira Chana Rafal David Menita Riva Shmuel Ben Tia D'Nim Chana Rizim Chai Bas Nida Brachos Avim Din Nev Shemina Simchotovia Ben Sivan Vego Vern V'Chazon D'Lu Mechmenda Ben Taiba Rivka Bas Batshev and Avtal Yom Nechla Esther B'Soy Shachli Yisrael as well as Chashidach Vataleya Bas Ita. We pick it up. We're almost at the bottom of Nun Aleph on Beis. We're 7 lines from the Gemara. Tanu Rabbanim. We're middle of about to walk. Koyin Gadol Machta coals in right hand, shovel, spoon, a keteris in left hand. Walking into the Beis Hamikdash. He's now inside the Beis Hamikdash. He's going towards the Kodesh Hamikdash, and now you have to know exactly, precisely, perfect choreography. Where does the Koyin Gadol walk? Says the Gemara, Tanur Rabbanan, Bein HaMizbech L'Menaira, Hayam Mahalich Tivi Rav Yehuda. We're going to have 3 opinions. Of course, we'll see it inside, and then we'll show the pictures. Rav Yehuda said he would walk between the Mizbech and Menaira. Let's all envision ourselves. We're walking into the Beis Hamikdash, and smack in front of us, we know it's Mizbech HaKetoires, the small golden Mizbech. On our left side is going to be the Menaira. On the right side is going to be the Shulchan. So the question is, how do I get into the Kodesh HaKodashim? Says Rav Yehuda, you walk between the Mizbech and the Menaira. We go a little bit to the left. Rav Meir Aimer, no, opposite, bein Shulchan and Mizbeach, a little bit to the right. V'yesh Aimer bein Shulchan and Kaisel, you go all the way along the right wall between the Shulchan and the Kaisel. Says the Gemara, Man Yesh Aimer, who is that opinion? Rav Chisda, Rav Yosi, the Amar, Pischa b'Safin Kai. That's Rav Yosi. He says the door, the opening of the curtain to the Kodesh HaKodashim is in the Safin on the right. Rav Yehuda Amar Lecha, Pischa b'Darim Kai, it's on the south. Rav Meir, come on, Svirle. Ik Rav Yehuda Svirle. Yeah, El Rav Yehuda. Ik Rav Yosi Svirle, now El Rav Yosi. So why does Rav Meir say that you go between the Shulchan and the Mizbeach a bit to the right, but not all the way? Says the Gemara, 2 answers. There were multiple shulchanes in the second Beis Hamikdash, and all those shulchanes are going to block his view from going all along the right wall, cause he'll walk into the shulchans, and therefore he had to go a little bit on a diagonal. The shulchan's going to block him. Teretz number 1. Teretz number 2. Really, the shulchanis were a bit off. And because of the shechina, as we move over to today's daf of Nun Beis, it's not, excuse me. It's not appropriate to go directly into the area where the Beis Hamikdash, where the Shechina is, the Kodesh HaKodashim. So you don't walk directly there. Why not? Perhaps, again, if you're walking along the right wall, we'll see the pictures in one more second. If you're walking along the right wall, you're going to be staring into the Kodesh HaKodashim because the opening is there. That's inappropriate. You go a bit on an angle. Maybe it's to show a bit of some nissimness, etc. How does Rav Yosi answer? Rav Yosi Chaviv in Yisrael. Shliach. Klal Yisrael is very chashiv. We don't need a shliach. We go in on our own. The Kohen Gadol goes in from us. And because the Kohen Gadol is the shliach, is the messenger of the entire Klal Yisrael, says Rav Yosi, he's so chashiv, he can even walk along the wall, staring into the Kodesh HaKodashim the entire time. Says the Gemara, okay, we know Rameh, we know Rav Yosi. What about Rav Yehuda? Rav Yehuda, Nami, Na'ayel ben Menayer leKaisel. Why doesn't he go all the way to the left? Says the Gemara, Meshachrei Manik, he's going to make his clothing black, because the left wall of the Beis Hamikdash is all black for the Menayer, and therefore we don't want him to go down the left wall. Says the Gemara, let's look at some pictures. Here you have an overview of the entire Beis Hamikdash. You see the Heichel smack in the middle with the Mizbech, Menaira, and Shulchan. We see the 2 curtains. Opinion number 1, said the Gemara Rav Yehuda, is you go between the Mizbech and the Menaira a little bit towards the left as you're walking in, and then you enter in to the Kodesh HaKodashim as the opening was on the south, the Daraim. This is Rav Yosi, says go all the way to the right because the opening was on the Safa in the north. And this is Rav Meir, who, as the Gemara answered, teretz number 1, that you see the 10 Shulchanes are blocking his view, so you had to go a little bit around in order to get in. Now we'll see some beautiful 3D pictures. Here's picture number 1. You see the Kohen Gadol, Machtam right hand, Kaf in left hand, the back to walk in to the Heichel. You also see how he has tied in his leg a string, which we'll speak about soon. Here we have a beautiful picture. We literally feel like we're walking in ourselves. Says the Gemara between the Menorah and the Mizbeach. You see he's arching a little bit to the left. Opinion number 2 said the Gemara between the Mizbeach and the Shulchan. He's arching a little bit to the right. And opinion number 3, Shali Sharmim says the Gemara, he goes all the way to the right, directly in. Says the Gemara, this is so beautiful. You see, according to Rav Yosi, there were multiple Shulchanais, all those golden Shulchans on the right side, and therefore he couldn't go all the way along the wall. He had to go between the Mizbeach and the Shulchanais. And this is the other opinion. If the Mizbeach were straight, the Shulchanas were straight, how he went in. And here, this is really the next Gemara. So let's just look at this for one moment before we read the Gemara. The Gemara is going to wonder how thick and wide were the walls of the Beis Hamikdash. As you see over here, that the Koisels, the walls were quite large. Let's see the Gemara together inside. Amar Rav Nasan, says the Gemara in Beis Hamikdash, 4 lines down. Amar Rav Nasan, Amma Traxin lo yichriya b'chacham mikilvnim mikilchotz. That Amma, that thickness, we said there were 2 curtains. That thickness, the Chachamim were not sure what is that thickness. Meaning, in Bayis Rishon, the first base of it was a wall. The wall was an Amma thick. Now we don't have a wall, so we have a space. Is that wall have a din of Kodesh Kodashim, or is that a wall of a wall of Kodesh? And obviously the practical difference is going to be when they're putting up a curtain. Now we need to know that area. Which area should that be? Maskevla Ravina, my time asks Ravina, what is the reason? I'm sorry, I shouldn't say, and that's the reason. Excuse me, it's not a question. The reason why they made 2 curtains was because they didn't know this middle area. So this area is for sure Kodesh, that area is for sure Kodesh HaKodashim. The middle area we're not sure, so we left it blank. On that, Maskevla Ravina's not happy. My time, what's your reason? With 60 by 20 by 30, Uksiv in the Pasuk says, and the house of Hashem was 40 amois, who Eichel lefanai, was the Eichel in front of me, Uksiv, and we have a third pasuk, V'lifnei hadavir, and behind the partition was Esrim amos, 20 amos, Eirich Vesrim Amarich, 20 amos wide, Vesrim Amakoimase, 20 amos tall. And based off of this price of Layadina, and we do not know, Amatraxin, Imehani Asarim, Imehani Arbaim. We're not sure, is this Amatraxin part of the 20 of the Kodesh HaKodashim, or part of the 40 of the Heichal of the Kodesh? But asks the Gemara, Vidilma, and perhaps, and again, this is Ravina's question, Vidilma leimahani esrim, leimahani arbaim. Maybe it's neither. How do you know it's either one? Maybe it's neither. V'chalal like a chashiv. Koislim like a chashiv. We don't necessarily know the thickness of the walls. We don't include those numbers. Whenever we give numbers, this is 20, this is 40, this is 60, is the interior space, but not necessarily the space that the walls take up. It continues, Ravina Teida. I'll bring you a raya to that detail. I'll bring you a raya that whenever the Beis Hamikdash walls are listed or counted, the amma of the area between the Kodesh and Kodashim is counted separately. Tetzanan, as we learned in the Mishnah, Eichel me'al me'ah b'rame'ah. The Eichel was 100 by 100 with a height of 100. Koisel ulam chamesh. The wall of the ulam was 5 amois thick. Again, that's like this picture you see over here. You see so clearly how the walls, the blue shaded area of the walls were extremely thick. So says the Gemara was 5 amois thick. V'ulam achas esrei amos, 11 amos. Koisel eichel sheish again with 6 amos. V'arkay arba amos, 40 amos long. V'amah tracks, and then you need amma of that separating space. V'chaf amma base kodesh HaKodashim, 20 amos in kodesh HaKodashim. Koisel eichel sheish v'atah sheish, and the boxes were 6. V'koisel atah chamesh, and the wall was 5. Ella, so says the Gemara, so it's very clear that we do not list, that we list the area of the space separately. So says the Gemara, we see from this previous brisa that the wall is not included. So what was your chashash? Said the Gemara a moment ago, we weren't sure. Is that wall Kodesh HaKodashim? Says the Gemara, we see very clearly that we never list the walls when we're listing the measurements of the Beis Hamikdash. So the Gemara explains, Elik Tujase, about 20 something lines down. First line is Kedusha, or even more easy is 10 lines to the bottom. Ela Kedusha say. The suffix was the Kedusha, the sanctity of that Amma. Does have a din of it's true, we know where it is. But what is the status of it? Is it Kodesh HaKadoshim or is it Kodesh? That is the detail that we are not sure about. This is what Rav Yochanan says. Yosef Yishutzal asking from the following pasuk Dvir. And the Dvir, the partition from inside the Beis HaMikdash and inward. They prepared to put the Aron of Hashem. And they asked, where does the pasuk mean when the pasuk says that the partition is within the house? Does it mean that it's on the inside? So we're not sure. Is this partitioned area considered towards the inside, like the first pasuk, like the second pasuk, or is it considered like the outside? And that is Yosef Yishutzal, which proves that which we just said a moment ago. That we're not worried where precisely the wall is, but rather we don't know the status of that Amma. Is that Amma of a din of Kodesh or a din of Kodesh HaKadoshim? Says the Gemara, Umi Mesafkele. Is it true? Yosef Yishutzal, like we just quoted in the previous Brisa, was not sure what the status was. But Tanya, but we learned in the Brisa. Says Isi ben Yudah. There are five times that the pasuk in the Torah is unclear, not conclusive, ambivalent, what the meaning of the pasuk is. What are those 5 times? Only those 5 times. And we learned in a brayso with regard to these drashas, who Yosef Yishutzal, who Yosef Abavli, who Isi ben Yehuda, Isi ben Gur Aryeh, who Isi ben Gamliel, who Isi ben Mahalel, who Mai Shema, Isi ben Akiva, Shemai b'deraisa. Says the Gemara, my Shemai, Isi ben Akiva, Shemai. So we see that Isi ben Akiva, Isi ben Mahal was the Tana that mentioned there's only 5 psukim that we don't know how to learn them. So how are you telling me that with regard to the partition, the area space between the Kodesh HaKodashim, Akiva, Isi ben Gamliel, Isi ben Mahalel himself was untrue? Because we see clearly it was only these 5 psukim he was not sure the status. Answers the Gemara, B'daraisa leka, B'navika. True, in the Daraisa, the psukim of the Torah, that is true that we don't have any psukim which are unclear aside for those 5. But in Nevi'im, we do. Ask the Gemara, really? B'daraisa leka? I'll prove you. V'ika d'bayir Rav Chisda, we have Rav Chisda Shaila. V'yishach hazdari b'nei Yisrael, v'yalu oilois, kvasim, v'yishchu zivchei shlamim, parim. How do you read this pasuk? Do you put a comma? Israel, comma, which is referring to comma, kvasim, that the animals were sheep. And then the pasuk continues, parim. There was 2, so 2 types of karbanos, kvasim and parim. They're both the same type of animal. Says the Gemara, that's Rav Chisda mistavkale. He's ben Yehuda pshitale. So it's not a riot because he's ben Yehuda himself knew what the din was. And that is walking towards the Kodesh HaKodashim, which way you're going to walk, all the way to the right, a bit to the right, or all the way to the left. And the partition, the wall or curtains, I should say, between the Kodesh and the Kodesh HaKodashim. Says the Gemara, let's learn a bit more about these curtains, this area separating, and of course we'll see some beautiful pictures in a few moments. Says the Gemara, Prupa means it was pinned back. As you saw in all the pictures, it was pulled back like we do with drapes. Says the Mishnah, the outer curtain was pulled back on the south. Upanimius menat safan on the north. Mahalich b'neim achmegil etzafan. The Kohen Gadol will walk between these 2 curtains. Again, it was an amma. An amma is only about 1.5 feet. It's pretty skinny. The Kohen Gadol had to sneak through. He gil etzafan once he reached the end to the north. Hayvich ban of the damer, and he turned his face to the south. Mahalich l'smailai ima pareichas achumagil la'aroin. And then he walked along to the Pareichas till he reached the Aron. He gil the Aron, Nasan as a Machta ben Shnei Abadim. Finally, we're there. We're in the Kodesh HaKodashim. He's still holding the Machta. He's holding the calf. He takes the Machta. He puts it down on on the floor between the two poles. He throws the ketayres. Sabar literally means heaps, which we'll learn more about tomorrow exactly how, on the coals. Then the entire Beis Hamikdash is filled with smoke. Yatza, he would leave. Ubala b'derech Beis Knisasa, the same way he went in. Umispal tefillah ksar on the way out. He would have a short tefillah b'bayis achitza in the outer room. Why? Israel. He doesn't want Klal Yisrael to get nervous. What happened? Where is he? So he'd only daven a short tefillah on his way out. Says the Gemara, or more importantly, before we see the Gemara, let's get some pictures for clarity. Here you have, looking forwards, you have again your Mizbech Hazav, your Shulchan on the right, the Menorah on the left, and you see that the current is Pruba Min Adaran. Of course, this is totally in the previous Machlaikas, and here you see now we're inside the Kodesh HaKadosh in this picture. People are wondering, where is the Aron HaKodesh, where are the Kruvim, where are the Batim? We'll see in a few moments. This is Bayis Sheni. As he walks through, as you see, it's pretty tight. Going go to walking between the two curtains, you have the Machta on the right, you have the Kaf on the left. He walks in, and again, he doesn't walk straight towards the center where the Aron is. You see, he turns and he goes along the wall. As you see right here, he's walking Mahalik L'Smail, walking directly across the wall. He's looking straight ahead of him until he turns in the middle. He turns straight towards, and here you see the Makim Shnei Abadim, like the Gemara will explain. He puts down the Machta. On the way out, he stops and pauses for a moment for a Tefillah Kasara, and then he continues. Let's see the Gemara before we see that picture. Says the Gemara, "B'mayaskinon, where are we in history? Which Beis Hamikdash? Ilema, if you're going to tell me, excuse me, B'mayaskinon one more time. Let's get my highlighter back. Ilema, if you're going to tell me B'mikdash Rishon, if you're going to tell me we're in the first Beis Hamikdash, Miyavi Baroiches, like we learned, there was no Baroiches in the first Beis Hamikdash. What was there? There was a wall. Ella b'mikdash sheni, must have been the second Beis Hamikdash. Says the Gemara, Miyavi Aron. Was there an Aron in the second Beis Hamikdash? We know there was not. V'atanya, as we learned in our Brayso, Misha Nignaz Aron Nigzaz Imai. When the Aron was hidden away, hopefully this should ring a bit of a bell as we heard this, as we learned this together in Shkalim. As the Aron was hidden away, what else was hidden away with it? The Sinsenes Haman, the flask of the man, Slucha Shem and Amishcha, the jug for the anointing oil, Aaron, the stick of Aaron, Ushkedel, and the flowers, Brachel. Our Goyshe Shagu Plishtim, Dairin Elokei Yisrael, and the chest that the Plishtim sent as a present to Klal Yisrael. Shenemar, Ukli Azav Asher Shibaisim Lai, and the golden Kalim that we returned to you, Lashem Loi Asham, should be a guilt offering. Tasimu Bargis Mitzidai, put it in the box on the side. And they sent it to them, Valach, and they went, and they got the Aron HaKodesh. So that's how the Beis Hamikdash Klal Yisrael now has the Aron Kodesh. Says the Gemara, Omi Ganzu. Okay, so who is the one that buried and hid away the Aron Kodesh? Yeshio Ganzu. It was Yeshio. Why? My Rosh Ganzu, Rosh Kasev Yeshio saw the following pasuk that says, Yelech Hashem Yischaves Malcha. Hashem will go, will lead you and your king. Mizmalcha Shetakim Alecha. Amar v'ganza, which she said over yourself. So Amar v'ganza, he went and he hid it. Why? Shenemar v'yomer l'alvim hamanvinim l'chol Yisrael ha'kedeshim Hashem. He said to Alvim, which are holy to Hashem, Tenu is Aron HaKodesh b'bayis. Place the Aron HaKodesh in the bayis. Rabbanan Shleimai ben David Melch Yisrael. Says the Gemara. What is that? What's that? Let's just finish the pasuk. Excuse me. Ein lochem masa b'ketev ata. You don't have a load on your shoulders right now. Ata now. If do as Hashem Elokeichem v'samu Yisrael, serve Hashem in Klal Yisrael. So where in this pasuk do we see that he hid it? For the fact that it says that you should set it up to new as Aron HaKodesh Beis Hashem. What do you mean to new? It's already there. So for the fact that he said to put it there shows it must mean to put it somewhere, which was the reason why Yeshua understood that we're going to have to hide the Aron. V'amar Rav Elazar Asya Shama, and Rav Elazar explains all the other items that were hidden away. When it comes to the sluchas of the man who was hidden away, it says Shama. V'asya Dairis, when it comes to that's the sluchas of Shem and Amishcha. The first one was the man. He has to be hidden away, it says Dairis. V'asya Mishmeres. And when it comes to the staff, the stick of Aron, it says Mishmeres. So it says the Gemara, where are we? We don't know yet. Beis Hamikdash Rishon, Beis Hamikdash Sheni. It can't be by his Rishon because his there's a wall. Can't be by Sheni, there's no Aron. Answers the Gemara, La'ilam Mikdasheni. What does it mean? He comes to the Aron. Makaim Aron. It means the place of the Aron. He placed it between the two poles of the Aron. Like between the two poles. As you see over here, it says, this was the Gemara's Kasha, that if it was Mikdash Rishon, and like you see the Aron there wasn't a Parechas, it was a proper wall. And therefore said the Gemara, we must be referring to, we're in Mikdash Sheni, and he's just putting it like you see over here, the Makaim of the Shnei Abadim where it would be. We'll pick up from here tomorrow.